Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. How is everybody today? Cool. It was a little nicer today than yesterday, but still, I was actually asked to give some friends a hand. They own a flower shop, and they wanted to take down all their summer. The whole front of the building is all decorated with flowers and whatnot, and they want to take down those and put up the Christmas decorations. And I was asked to reserve an hour for the day. I went down there and they decided to go all out since I was there to help. And I ended up spending 4 hours hanging Christmas decorations today. And that would have been the worst thing in the world last year, the year before, any of the priors. But you know what? Today I said, you know what? I can pivot. I can move some stuff around. I'm already here. You know, they're offering to pay me to do it. Guys, I probably took a huge hit because I'm not going to charge them my service call rates. I'll just charge them a small hourly rate for the time. So even though I lost probably a ton of money this afternoon, it actually felt good to put some Christmas decorations up and be part of the celebration this year. So that's just something, just one more beautiful thing that happens in recovery as opposed to active addiction, guys. Other than that, I think we're going to get into the reading. Good reading today, guys. This one's titled Self-Discovery, which, of course, obviously is a big part of recovery. And again, the more you put into recovery, the more you're going to get out of it. It's certainly what I'm finding. So, self-discovery. The 10th step can correct our living problems and prevent their reoccurrence. Our identities, how we think and feel, have been shaped by our experiences. Some of our experience have made us better people. Others have caused us shame and embarrassment. All of them have influenced who we are today. We can take advantage of the knowledge gained in examining our lives. I'm sorry. We can take advantage of the knowledge gained in examining our mistakes, using this wisdom to guide the decisions we make today. Acceptance of ourselves means accepting all aspects of ourselves, our assets, our defects, our successes, and our failures. Shame and guilt left unaddressed can paralyze us, preventing us from moving forward in our lives. Some of the most meaningful amends we can make for the mistakes of our past are made from simply acting differently today. We strive for improvement and measure our success by comparing who we used to be with who we are now. Being human, we will continue to make mistakes. However, we need not make the same mistakes over and over again. By looking at our past and realizing that we have changed and grown, we find hope for the future. The best is yet to come. And then the affirmation is, just for today, I will do the best I can with what I have today. Each day I will learn something. Now I will learn something new that will help me tomorrow. Sorry, guys, I have a hard time reading my own writing some days. I like to, rather than just read these out of a book, I like to rewrite everything because it just helps me absorb it better. And that's just a tip, something I find, right? Yeah, guys. If there's one thing you've heard me say over and over on this channel is the only equitable comparison is you before to you now, or me prior to me today. And that's a beautiful thing, guys. That's how you gauge the benchmarks in your recovery. I don't want to compare myself with somebody who was born with a silver spoon and gets a Ferrari for their birthday, because every time I do, I'm going to come up feeling like I've been robbed somehow, right? And I don't want to compare myself with somebody who, was born with all sorts of physical disabilities, because then I'm going to think I'm some superhero and think I've got, I'm all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only want to compare yourself with yourself prior and where you are today. That's going to give you the actual equitable measurement of the successes or your failures, or where you're making progress and where you need more work. And that's literally it all comes down to at the end of the day, guys. The beauty of recovery, it is a second chance at just living a life and correcting the mistakes of your past. Jeez, I'm having a hard time talking today. Throat's very dry to boot, and that might be part of it. Anyway, the beauty of that is, guys, the more you put into the recovery, the more you're going to get out of it. And then the more you move forward in life, the better you feel when you look back on what you've been through and where you're going now. Eventually, you're going to actually be able to look at your past and even all the negativity you went through and start to look at it in a different light and not be so bothered by it. And that's the thing, guys. One thing for me is I lived in a state of constant remorse for the way I was living, and that was keeping me from ever enjoying any of even the good stuff that was going on in my life. Because as bad as my life was, it wasn't like it was nothing but misery. I learned a lot of good things. All the stuff that I'm doing today that's making me so incredibly successful with my business is all stuff that I learned in addiction, guys. But for once in my life, I was able to shed the addiction and then take all those skills that I learned, keep all the good things of it, and then shed all the things that didn't serve me, and then apply them in my life and pivot and make changes where need be. But go out and all of a sudden turn a side hustle into a full-time business that's making me more money than I've ever dreamed. Again, I don't mean to say that like I'm some Joe millionaire, because I'm absolutely not. But I will tell you this: every time I got into recovery, I would have these half-assed. What it was is somebody that saw my abilities said, "Jesus Christ, if you're not a millionaire in 5 years, you're doing something wrong." And I always kind of had that in my mark in my head, like, geez, you know what? If I really did shed the nonsense and buckle down and make all good decisions, like, he's right. Literally could be a millionaire in 5 years. And yet I never took a single step towards making that happen. Well, this time around, that was one of the things. I said, you know what? If I'm going to get into recovery this time, I literally have to give it everything I have. I have to chase recovery the way that I chased my high, my drugs. And I've got to change the person I am, and I've got to start using some of the potential that I have. And again, I'm not special, but I'm just focused. And guys, I'm well on my way. I mean, again, because of my situation, I was able to look at all the things I had going for me and then move in those directions. And again, it was a leap of faith, because there was a very good chance that every time I knocked on the door, everybody answering that door had every right to say, "What do you mean? We watched you, spin your wheels for 10 years. Why would we give you this chance now? What's the difference?" Not one person has said that to me, guys. Everybody has seen, and again, the difference this time is I kept my nose down and I just focused on the day. I didn't come in slinging promises. I didn't, promise I was going to change anybody's world or save any. The only promises I've made is I would show up today and do what I promised you I would do today. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not worrying about yesterday. And in doing so, day in and day out, like I found myself on this fast track, and it was the only reason I had the courage and the confidence to do that is because the miracles that my higher power manifested in me. Guys, when I started hearing miracles can happen and this and that, like, I'm thinking, well, if a miracle's going to happen, I'm going to walk out of here and pick up a scratch ticket off the ground and it's going to be $1 million. Like, that was a miracle in my book before I got into recovery. Before I left the rehab this time, I realized that the miracles is the manifestation of the changes from within. The ability to go from being a blathering, crying, man in nothing but despair that literally didn't know if my name was right, because I just knew everything about me was wrong, and if somebody told me I'd been calling myself the wrong name all that time, I probably would have believed it, to 4 short weeks later walking out of rehab with strong faith, with knowledge that I actually was a good person. I do have morals, I do have value, and I can come out. And then again, it's funny, because even then, my goals at that point were to come back and get my old job back. Not the one I was working when I went into rehab, but the one that I had lost due to drugs prior, working for my friend Doug. Like, that was my ultimate goal. Like, if I could just do that, if I could get back to where I was 10 years ago, I'd be thrilled. Again, Lord, thank you. God knew what was best for me, and that was the thing that I did right, guys, because, in my mind, that was the best thing that could have happened. My higher power, God, knew much, much better than that, much bigger than that was in store for me. Immediately, I understood, like, no, Doug is a great guy, and he could be a good boss, but it'd be a lot better if he was one of 30 customers just like him. And that's what God has brought into my life. And again, it's because I didn't put my own spin on things. I didn't, I didn't work within my own limited beliefs, because that's one thing I said right off the bat. Like, I know bigger and better things are in store for me, because that's what I was hearing in my meditations after I would talk to my higher power in prayer, when I would look at everything I had going, and just, do as much self-discovery as I could to the best of my ability at that point, knowing full well it was going to get better, because I knew I was still, working with a broken set of, a broken operating system in my software. But I didn't let any hold me back. I didn't fault myself for it. I didn't beat myself up for it, and I didn't sit there and say, "Well, I've made all these mistakes. I can never do right." No, I just continued to turn over to God and say, "God, show me what the next step is. I will lift my foot and lean forward, knowing full well you'll guide me in the right direction." And what I can do is do everything that I do. Every choice I make, I will make to the best of my ability for myself and for those around me. Every job I take on, I will see through, even if I sold myself short and underbid and undercut. And I made some of those mistakes early on, guys. The prime example was that oil that I was doing for the person. That was a gift, because I didn't get arrested for taking their money ahead of time. But guys, I did a job for, I don't know what it was, $200 or $300. It was an absolute joke. The job should have paid $2,000. And but again, I was given the chance to make that right, so I made that right, and I went over and did double the work for them. Didn't get an extra dime out of it, just for the money that they had paid me back in November. I did it in January, February this year. I've tried to use self-discovery and only hold on to what serves me. That's the thing, guys. We have choices every day. We can take what we want and we can leave the rest. Anything that was not for my highest good and not the best version of me, I just put it to death, put it behind me. It took a lot of uncomfortable conversations. Like, so many times I've had to, stand there and listen to people say, "Well, this is where you are, this is what you're about, this is what you did." And I could only say, "Yep, you're absolutely right. I was an active addict. I'm sorry. I wasn't making the best choices. And I was signing on to things that were terrible for me, and that's not the person that I am today, and you take it or leave it. If you want to, walk with me forward, great. If you don't, I'm not going to let you hold me back, and I'm going to have to leave you behind. If you ever want to catch up again, all you got to do is put down the drugs and come do the right thing with me, and I'll take anybody with me. But and again, that's your choice. I can't make anybody do anything other than myself, and I just try to do what my higher power wants from me. I'm only responsible for myself. I love helping as many as I can along the way, and that's part of what makes me feel good about myself today. I love helping other people, and I do so at every opportunity. Next week is Thanksgiving. I haven't had the conversation with my family yet to see what they all have. I think they may be going with, like, their spouse's family and things of that nature. And that's okay today. As much as I'm looking forward to celebrating with family this year, if I don't for Thanksgiving, I will for Christmas. But my point being, I'm not going to sit and wallow. I'm actually going to go find a soup kitchen or a food pantry type of deal, and I'm going to go volunteer my time, and I'm going to go give back in that way. Christmas, I've already started looking for toys drives. I want to buy a bunch of kids a bunch of toys this year, because I don't have a lot of young children left in my family. There's a couple of nieces and nephews I will buy for. And I will certainly get gifts for all my family members. But again, beyond that, like, I want to make up for some of the misery. I want to go, give to somebody less fortunate. I want to be the difference in somebody's Christmas. And again, just because that's a show of gratitude for the resources and the gifts that I've been given all year long. And I love that about myself today, guys. And I found that out through self-discovery. A big part of that came from the night that I got home from rehab. I was cleaning my apartment, and I found a rock of crack, and I threw it in the pipe, and I smoked it, and I threw away the 30 days of clean time that I had. That's the clean date that I go on now. That was January 6th. My date is the 7th, as you guys know, or may know if you follow the videos and see when I got my chips. I've got my whole list of chips taped to my wall in front of me here with clear packing tape, so I can see the milestones that I've gotten. But again, what happened there is I dropped to my knees and I prayed, rather than freaking out and saying, "Oh, I threw it away, let me go get more drugs and just blow this." I dropped to my knees and prayed and said, "God, what do I got to do? Like, I was in a good place 10 minutes ago, and I've already failed. Like, this is, I covered myself with the opiates and Sublocade, but it didn't help me from smoking crack. And God came right to me and said, "Get out of the house. There's something out for you outside, but there's nothing for you sitting in here." I went outside and I found a girl that was locked out of her car and needed help, and I was able to take care of it, and it literally erased all those negative feelings that I had. And I said, "Well, let me dwell on that." Self-discovery. I like to be of service. How can I be of service? Well, I had the idea to start the YouTube channel. Let me go get active in an AA group. And that's what I've done, guys, and I've just built on it day in and day out. But if I didn't do that little bit of self-discovery at the beginning, none of this would have happened. And maybe I would have been lucky and got my old job back, and that would have been fine, because I would have been living better than I had been in the last 8 years. But I wouldn't be living as good as I am today, and I wouldn't be looking at the prospect of buying my first rental property. And guys, you hear me say that a lot, because that was my big dream. That was the one thing I knew, the one thing I could, the situation I was in, the action steps I had available that could erase 30 years of mistakes and give me some sort of stability for the future. And even in the beginning, I didn't know if it was possible, because I just spun my wheels and screwed everything up so many times. But God said, "I put that desire in your heart for a reason." So every day I just kept, planning towards it and plotting towards it and doing the best I could. And I mean, I thought within 5 years, that was my goal. If I could own $1 million property or be a millionaire within 5 years, that'd be absolutely, and that would, it's absolutely amazing, right? Guys, I don't think it's going to take me 2 years to get there. That's a beautiful thing. God, once again, showing me that I sell myself short and that I have value and I bring contribution. And then He's made sure that there's been 1 million people around me to let me know that they see what I'm doing and they're impressed and they're inspired by it. And that makes everything so much more, so much more worth it. And it literally makes me take the things that I've been through and I wear those as a trophy today, because I know I get to share with others and show that, listen, if I can go through all of this and be where I am today, unharmed, unhurt, over PTSD, and moving forward and helping others and succeeding, then you can too. What a bigger badge of honor that can be than to get to lead a bunch of people back to their own lives. I love my life today, guys. It's not always easy, and it doesn't always go the way I think it is. But when I look at it honestly, at the end of the day, if I continue to make the good decisions I have, I know it's for my highest good. And every time I think I've overlooked something because I prolonged or I waited too long, then you know what? As soon as I think I lost something, something better pops up in front of me. It's a beautiful thing, guys. Be the best version of yourself. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And then slowly build confidence. Don't go running out there being the loudest one in the room. Be the quiet one doing everything right for the right reason, and just do it repeatedly, and eventually it's going to pay off in spades. Guys, thank you so much for being here. That's the video for today. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.